everyone, welcome back to my class. Myself Romana, and hope you all are doing well. So in the previous classes we have studied about the different life processes like nutrition, and we have also studied about the life process respiration, transportation, that is circulation, excretion, and we have also discussed or learned about a life process reproduction. So these life processes we have studied in an isolated way. That means we have studied about each life process in each lesson, but these life processes are interconnected and they show coordination. So in today's class I am going to explain a lesson, coordination in life processes. So how this coordination is brought up? So in our body, these life processes shows the coordination. Our body cannot sustain or survive without showing the coordination among different systems and among different life processes. So when we take an example, like if we need to run or if we have to run, then our muscles and our bones need flexibility, strength, and also it needs some enough energy, and this enough energy is provided by the nutrition and also by the respiration that are the life processes. So here we can clearly see that the respiration and the nutrition are the life processes that are coordinating with the muscular system and the skeletal system of our body in order to show the different movements and in order to make our body run faster. So in this way, each system and every life process is coordinated to show or to carry out the different activities of our body. So in this lesson we are going to understand how the coordination between the different systems takes place and also about the different life processes. So we can find or we can see a relation or a coordination between the different systems of our body, like nervous system. Nervous system shows the coordination with the respiratory system. It also shows the coordination with the excretory system. Likewise, the the endocrine system, which is also called as hormonal system, and this system we have already discussed about this system. This endocrine system is a hormonal system which secretes the different hormones in our body. So this system also shows the relation with these life processes. So we can find the relation between the endocrine system and the nutrition, the relation between the endocrine system and the respiration, also between the endocrine system and the circulation. So in this way, all the life processes are coordinated and they are interconnected with each other. They work together and show some interconnection and also show the coordination among them. So this coordination helps to bring the control over various life processes. And here in this lesson we are going to take one example, that is digestive system, in order to understand the coordination and also to understand how each system is working together and how it shows the coordination among the various life processes. So we know that digestive system, so the process of digestion shows various steps right from the beginning, that is feeling of hunger, till the end, that is consumption of food which has eaten. Okay, so that various steps shows the coordination with the other systems. So now we are going to study how each stage of the digestion process is coordinated by the other system. The first step is feeling hungry. Feeling hungry means getting hunger sensation in the stomach, or we can say it as a hunger pangs. The stomach contract and make you feel hungry. This begins with the blood. We know that the blood is a circulatory system that transports all the different materials or the substances to the different organs of our body, and certain substances or the level of the certain substances present in the blood is connected with this feeling of hunger. What is that substance which is present in the blood that makes you to feel hunger? The presence of the glucose in the sufficient amount into the blood. If the sufficient amount of the glucose is present in our blood, then we won't feel hungry. But if the level of the glucose decreases or if it becomes low, then we get the feeling of hunger by the release of a hormone called ghrelin. Once the level of the glucose decreases in our blood, then the stomach secretes a hormone which is called as ghrelin, and this ghrelin is secreted by the cells which are present in the stomach wall. This ghrelin causes the contraction of the stomach, or this contraction of the stomach we can call it as a hunger pangs. So this ghrelin hormone is responsible for causing the hunger pangs which will make you feel hungry when this hormone is activated. Not all the time. This hormone is activated or it becomes activated depending upon the level of the glucose. When the level of the glucose becomes less or low, then only the activation of this hormone takes place, and due to the activation or the secretion of the hormone by the stomach, it causes the contraction of the stomach or the hunger pangs which will make us feel hungry. How can we feel that these are hunger pangs, not the other pain in our stomach? So we can definitely differentiate between the hunger pangs and the other pains in our stomach because of the signals that are carried from the stomach to the brain. The stomach, the hunger signals from the stomach are taken to the brain through a nerve or through 10th cranial nerve. This 10th cranial nerve is called as vagus nerve. Vagus nerve plays a major role in carrying the hunger signals from the stomach to the brain, and in the brain we can find a center which is called as diencephalon, and we have already discussed about the structure of a brain in which we have studied that diencephalon is a part of the forebrain, or when the signal reaches to the region called diencephalon, this part analyzes the signals and it indicates that these are the hunger pangs or these are hunger sensation. Because of this we feel hungry. These hunger pangs continue for 30 to 45 minutes which will compel you to eat something or which will compel you to eat the food, and by this we can notice the interconnection between the nervous system, digestive system, and also between the endocrine system. Here in the digestive process, as the stomach creates the hunger pangs, so here we can see the coordination between the endocrine system, digestive system and the nervous system. In this way, different systems are coordinated in order to carry out the different life processes. After getting the signals from the diencephalon, we feel hungry and then we have some food. After having enough amount of the food, when the initiation or the hunger pang stops, do we have any other system to stop or to control the hunger? Yes, of course. We have some other hormones. Some other hormones are secreted named leptin. So this hormone is responsible for creating the stomach fill feeling in our body, and this hormone stops the hunger in our body. So in this way the different systems are coordinated or they work together in order to carry out certain life processes. After having the food, there are many other processes that needs to be carried out in the process of digestion before we get energy or the nutrients out of the food. So let us see at each stage how the digestive system is coordinated by the other systems. Sometimes if we try to have the spoiled food or the smelly food, even though we try to have that food, we get vomiting. So here we can see the coordination between the nervous system and the taste buds. The nervous system and the taste buds are coordinated and they are working together in order to reject the food. So the rejection of the food also takes place by the coordination between the various systems of our body. हमारे प्रीवियस क्लासेस में हमने कई लेसन्स पढ़े हैं जिसमें हमने कई लाइफ प्रोसेसेस के बारे में पढ़ा है, जैसा कि है न्यूट्रिशन, रेस्पिरेशन, सर्कुलेशन, एक्सक्रीशन और रिप्रोडक्शन. ये सारे लाइफ प्रोसेसेस कंट्रोल होते हैं हमारे बॉडी के डिफरेंट सिस्टम से. तो ये हमारे जो बॉडी में डिफरेंट सिस्टम्स प्रेजेंट हैं वो सारे एक साथ वर्क करते हैं, यानी कोऑर्डिनेशन बताते हैं, जिनकी मदद से ये सारे लाइफ प्रोसेसेस हमारी बॉडी में पॉसिबल है. ठीक है, तो अभी ये वाले लेसन में हम एक एग्जांपल लेंगे कोऑर्डिनेशन को समझने के लिए, और वो एग्जाम्पल है डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम। और डाइजेशन ऐसा प्रोसेस है जिसमें कई स्टेप्स इन्वॉल्व होते हैं, और फर्स्ट वाला है फीलिंग हंग्री। हमें तो पता है कि ब्लड एक ऐसा कनेक्टिव टिश्यू है जो कि कई तरह के मटेरियल्स एक ऑर्गन से दूसरी ऑर्गन को ट्रांसपोर्ट करता है। तो ब्लड में ही ऐसे कुछ सब्सटेंसेस होते हैं जो हमें हंगर फील कराने में हेल्प करते हैं और हंगर पैंग्स कॉज करते हैं हमारी बॉडी में। तो वो वाला सब्सटेंस है ग्लूकोज। अगर ब्लड में ग्लूकोज सफिशिएंट अमाउंट में प्रेजेंट है तो हमें भूख नहीं लगेगी, लेकिन अगर ये ग्लूकोज का लेवल डिक्रीज हो जाएगा या फिर लो हो जाएगा ब्लड में, तो ये ग्लूकोज का लेवल डिक्रीज हो जाने से हमारा स्टमक एक हार्मोन सीक्रेट करेगा जिसका नाम है ग्रेलिन। जैसा ही ये हार्मोन सीक्रेट होगा, ये ग्रेलिन हंगर पैंग्स कॉज करेगा, और ये हंगर पैंग्स की वजह से हम हंग्री फील करेंगे। और ये जो भी फीलिंग है हंगर की, वो तब तक नहीं खत्म, वो 30 to 45 मिनट्स तक रहेगी, और ये हमें कॉम्पल करेगी कुछ भी फूड खाने के लिए। अब यहाँ पर सवाल है कि ये हंगर सिग्नल्स जो है, जो कि स्टमक में हार्मोन ग्रेलिन सीक्रेट हुआ है, वो कॉज करेगा। तो ये हंगर सिग्नल्स एक नर्व है जिसका नाम है वैगस नर्व, वो हंगर सिग्नल्स को कैरी करेगी ब्रेन तक की, और फिर ब्रेन में डायंसेफेलॉन रीजन है जो एनालाइज करेगा ये वाले सिग्नल्स को और बताएगा कि ये हंगर सेंसेशन है। हंगर सेंसेशन होने के बाद फिर हम जब खाना खा लेंगे, उसके बाद में ये हंगर स्टॉप होने के लिए भी एक और हार्मोन रिलीज होगा हमारे बॉडी में, और जिसका नाम है लेप्टिन। तो लेप्टिन एक ऐसा हार्मोन है जो हमारे हंगर को स्टॉप करेगा और हमें स्टमक फिल फीलिंग देगा। ठीक है, तो ये हो गया हमारा फर्स्ट स्टेप, फीलिंग हंग्री। और यहाँ पर हम देख सकते हैं कि डिफरेंट सिस्टम्स हमारी बॉडी के कोऑर्डिनेट कर रहे हैं ये स्टेप 1 को बताने के लिए। और यहाँ पर डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम के फर्स्ट स्टेप को कोऑर्डिनेट करने के लिए एंडोक्राइन सिस्टम और नर्वस सिस्टम का इन्वॉल्वमेंट है। तो एंडोक्राइन सिस्टम और नर्वस सिस्टम कोऑर्डिनेट कर रहे हैं डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम के फर्स्ट स्टेप को कैरी आउट करने के लिए। Let us discuss about the topic taste and smell. Sometimes you choose your food. So if someone places the food items in front of you, so how do you give the preference? Which food item you choose first? So in such cases you use your sense organs like eyes. The food item which is bright looking, you choose that one first, or you may use your sense of smelling, the one which is giving a good odor, you give preference to that food item, and also you enjoy the flavor of that food item. So here the difference between the taste and the flavor is, taste is of different kinds like sour, bitter, sweet and salty. No matter thousands of food items shows these different kinds of taste, but here the flavor is the food item which gives taste as well as odor. The flavor of the food can be enjoyed if that food is showing these kinds of taste, and also it should have smell. So the taste and the smell of the food item gives you the flavor of the food. While identifying the food item, you use your two sense organs like nose and tongue. The tongue helps you to taste the food item, and the smell of the food item can be recognized by our nose. So here the two sense organs are playing a vital role in order to enjoy the flavor of the food item. So here we can clearly observe that the sense organs like tongue and nose, these sense organs shows the coordination. If they are well coordinated, then only it gives the flavor of the food item. Here also the coordination between the sense organs like tongue and nose controls the flavor of the food item. Okay, and if we are suffering from cold and cough, if we are caught by the cold and cough, then also we fail to taste the food. We can taste the food with the help of our tongue, but we fail to enjoy the flavor of that food. So this also explains us that the coordination between the nose and the tongue is necessary to enjoy the flavor of the food item. So now to understand the linkage between the nose and the tongue in order to give the flavor of the food, we'll do one activity. Take some pieces of potato and apple. then if you are blindfolded and you keep your fingers on your nose just not to smell these items. Okay, after eating the pieces of potato and apple, you'll get some texture in your mouth and immediately you cannot differentiate them. Definitely there is a difference between the taste of a potato and an apple, but after the mixing of this item with the saliva, you can identify the sweetness of an apple and you can differentiate. So here you can differentiate between the taste of the potato and an apple after some time, because there will be no smell. The smell is also not present to identify the food. So here this activity shows the importance of linkage between the nose and the tongue. Now, how do we come to know the taste of the food? We know that the function of the tongue is to give the taste of the food, and this tongue bears some taste buds on its surface, and the surface of the tongue shows the presence of some cup-like or the pit-like structures. So when we eat the food when mixes with the saliva, it becomes liquid, and that liquid food enters into these cup-like structures which are present on the surface of the tongue, and the taste is analyzed, and these taste signals are sent to the brain, and in the brain it reaches to a region called diencephalon, and in this region the taste signals are analyzed, and after the analyzing of the taste signals, we came to know that how the taste of the food item is it. After the signals are analyzed by the region diencephalon, you will come to know what the taste it is. So this whole process takes some time. Here the tongue bears the taste buds which plays a major role in identifying the taste of the food. Now, as I said you that the coordination must be there between the sense organs like tongue and nose in order to enjoy the flavor of the food item. So here the nose is also an organ which involves in giving the taste of the food. Nose bears some receptors to smell the food, and these receptors which are present in the nose are chemoreceptors, or we can say it as olfactory receptors. These receptors which are present in our nose helps to smell the food. We know that after having the food, when we chew the food is mixes with the saliva, and when it becomes liquid, then it enters into the pit-like structures which are present on the surface of the tongue in order to give the taste of the food. But what about the nose? How we can smell the food? So here we can smell the food through the receptors which are present in our nose only when the food molecules are present in the gaseous form. So the food shows some gaseous molecules that enters into our nose and that help us to smell the food item. In this way, the tongue and the nose shows the coordination to give the flavor of the food. So here we can write that the taste and smell helps in identifying the flavor of the food item. So with the help of tongue and nose, we can taste and smell the food item, and this motivates us to eat or to consume the food. अभी हम बात करेंगे टेस्ट एंड स्मेल की, ठीक है। तो टेस्ट, हमें तो पता है कि हमारा सेंस ऑर्गन जो टंग है वो हमें हेल्प करता है फूड का टेस्ट बताने के लिए, और ये टंग के सरफेस पे थोड़े से टेस्ट बर्ड्स होते हैं जिसकी मदद से ही हम टंग के सरफेस पे टेस्ट बर्ड्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं जो फूड का टेस्ट बताते हैं, और ये टेस्ट बर्ड्स थोड़े से कप लाइक और द पिट लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स बताते हैं टंग के सरफेस पे, और जब हम फूड च्यू करते हैं और जब फूड सलाइवा के साथ में मिक्स हो जाएगा, इसके बाद जब वो लिक्विड फॉर्म में बन जाएगा, तब वो ये कप लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स में चला जाएगा और यहाँ पर टेस्ट सिग्नल्स ब्रेन तक के पहुंचाए जाएंगे यहाँ से, ठीक है। तो जब ब्रेन के पास ये टेस्ट सिग्नल्स पहुंच जाएंगे डायंसेफेलॉन रीजन में, तब ये डायंसेफेलॉन रीजन जो कि ब्रेन में प्रेजेंट होता है वो ये टेस्ट सिग्नल्स को एनालाइज करेगा और हमें बताएगा कि ये खाने का टेस्ट कैसा है, ठीक है। नोज भी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करता है हमें टेस्ट बताने के लिए, ठीक है। तो नोज में रिसेप्टर्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं जिसको हम बोलेंगे कीमो रिसेप्टर्स और ऑल्फैक्टरी रिसेप्टर्स। ये रिसेप्टर्स की मदद से हम फूड को स्मेल कर सकते हैं और जो फूड के गैसियस मॉलिक्यूल्स होते हैं वो हमारे नोज में एंटर होते हैं, और ये कीमो रिसेप्टर्स वो स्मेल को एनालाइज करते हैं और फिर वो वाले सिग्नल्स को ब्रेन तक पहुंचाते हैं, और जिसकी मदद से हम हमारे खाने के फ्लेवर को आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं। तो यहाँ पर टेस्ट और स्मेल ये दोनों का होना ज़रूरी है खाने के फ्लेवर को आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए। सो यहाँ पर हमें ये पता लग रहा है कि सेंस ऑर्गन्स जो कि टंग और नोज है ये दोनों एक साथ में काम करेंगे, यानी कोऑर्डिनेशन बताएंगे हमें खाने का फ्लेवर बताने के लिए, ठीक है. Tongue and palate. We know the function of the tongue, that the tongue is used to mix the food with the saliva, and it also bears some taste buds. That taste buds helps to identify the taste of the food item. Okay, but here one upper portion is present in our mouth cavity, which is called as palate. Palate is a wall that separates the nasal cavity and the oral cavity, and this also plays a very important role in finding the taste of the food. But the palate do not bear any taste buds. Then how it is contributing in finding the taste of the food item? So let us see one activity to show the function of the palate, to show the involvement of the palate in finding the taste of the food. So here the activity is, take some sugar crystals. Now open your mouth or open your tongue, then keep that sugar crystals on your tongue. Don't close your mouth. After keeping the sugar crystals, don't close your mouth, keep it open and let the sugar crystals dissolve. So it takes a longer period of time to dissolve the sugar crystals, and after dissolving, it takes a long time to show the taste of that sugar crystals. But on the other hand, if the tongue is touches to the palate, if we closes our mouth, then the tongue is pressed by the palate, and here the palate helps to press the sugar crystals, and as the sugar crystals are pressing by the palate, it dissolves more rapidly, and that dissolved sugar crystals enter into the cup-like structures of the tongue, and after entering into the cup-like structures, it gives the taste of that sugar crystals. So in this way, the palate is helping to identify the taste of the food item a bit faster. So palate is a wall which is present between the nasal cavity and the oral cavity, and this also contributes in identifying or in finding the taste of the food item. The next one is mouth, the munching machine. In the process of digestion, the chewing of the food is a very important step that needs to be takes place in our mouth. So the food has to be mixed with the saliva to be digested well. So the chewing of the food is an important step in the process of digestion. And here the process of digestion shows the two phases, that are physical digestion and chemical digestion. So the presence of enzymes, hormones and certain chemicals, and also the acids in the stomach and intestines that helps to carry out the process of digestion. So this type of digestion which takes place with the help of enzymes, hormones and certain acids is called as chemical digestion. But the activities like chewing of the food is churned, it is masticated and it is mixed with the saliva, that is called as physical digestion that takes place in our mouth. So mouth shows the two parts, that are teeth and tongue. Teeth helps to chew the food, and tongue helps, or tongue gives the taste of the food. So here the teeth and the tongue which are present in our mouth, they help in the mastication of the food, which is a step in the process of digestion. The lower jaw of our mouth shows the presence of some muscles, and that muscles contract, or the contraction of that muscles help us to chew the food in a proper manner. Okay, muscles which are present in the lower jaw, they are controlled by some nerves. So here the involvement of the muscles and nerves shows the coordination, how they are coordinated with the digestive system. Okay, and depending upon the texture of the food, the muscle contraction takes place. The muscles contracts more stronger when we have to eat, or when we eat some hard food item, then it needs to be break down in our mouth. So to cut that hard food into the smaller pieces before we swallow it, the muscles contraction takes place in our lower jaw, and the breakdown of that food material takes place before we swallow that food. So in this way, depending upon the texture of the food, the muscle contraction occurs. Okay, to understand how the chewing of the food is important in the process of digestion, we will see one activity, and here we are taking the two test tubes, and in both the test tubes we are taking, or we are pouring vinegar, and after pouring the vinegar, take a piece of chalk in the first test tube, and in the second one take the crunchy chalk, the powdery chalk. So after taking the vinegar, in the first test tube, take a piece of chalk, and in the second test tube, pour or place some powdery chalk. So after adding the powdery chalk in the vinegar, we can clearly observe that the chalk can be dissolved easily in the situation 2 where we are taking the powdery chalk when compared to the situation 1 where we took a piece of chalk. So here in the case 1, it takes a longer time to dissolve in the vinegar when compared to the case 2 where we have taken the powdery chalk which dissolves in a shorter period of time. Likewise, when we chew the food is broken down into the smaller pieces and it is easily digested by our body. But when the breakdown is not proper, when the breakdown of the food item is not proper, and when the chewing of the food is not proper, then the indigestion takes place, then our digestion would not be occur in a proper way. So this activity explains that the chewing of the food is a very important step in the process of digestion. So we call the mouth as the munching machine because it helps in chewing the food material, that is, it helps in carrying out the process of mastication. Mastication is nothing but breakdown of the food material into the smaller pieces. So here we have already discussed that the teeth and the tongue is involved in carrying out the process of mastication. We know that in a human body 32 teeth are present, and these 32 teeth is classified into 4 types. They are incisors, canines, premolars and molars. These incisors are 4 in number, canines 2, premolars 4 and molars 6. So here these are 4 types of teeth which are present in our mouth. Incisors are 4 in number, and when we multiply it with 2, because the incisors are present on our upper jaw as well as in our lower jaw. So here when we multiply it with 2, it becomes 8, canines 4, 8, 12. Now when we add up, it will be 32. So in this way, 32 teeth are present in our mouth which helps in cutting the food into smaller pieces, and the tongue which gives the taste of our food, and the muscles which are present in the lower jaw helps in chewing the food material, and these muscles are controlled by the nerves, and the 5th cranial nerve is involved to control the muscles that helps in the mastication process. So by this we can clearly notice the involvement of teeth, tongue, muscles and nerves in chewing the food, that is in the process of digestion. So here we can see the coordination among teeth, tongue, the different muscles and also among the different nerves to carry out the process of digestion. So in this way the digestive system is coordinated by the other systems and it works together, and these systems works together to show the coordination. तो अभी हम बात करेंगे माउथ द मंचिंग मशीन. हमारे माउथ में 2 पार्ट्स है जैसे कि टीथ और टंग. टीथ 32 प्रेजेंट होते हैं और ये 4 टाइप्स के होते हैं, इंसिजर्स, कैनाइन्स, प्रीमोलार्स और मोलार्स. अपर जॉ में 4 इंसिजर्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं और लोअर जॉ में भी 4 इंसिजर्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं और इन टोटल ये 8 होते हैं. ऐसे ही कैनाइन्स 4, प्रीमोलार्स 8 और मोलार्स 12 होते हैं, और ये सारे जब हम ऐड करेंगे तो 32 टीथ हो जाएंगे. तो इस तरीके से हमारे माउथ में 32 टीथ प्रेजेंट होते हैं जो कि मास्टिकेशन प्रोसेस में हेल्प करते हैं. और टंग भी एक ऐसा मसल है और एक ऐसा ऑर्गन है जो मास्टिकेशन में, जो फूड को सलाइवा से मिक्स करने में हेल्प करता है. और मसल्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं हमारे लोअर जॉ में जो कि नर्व से कंट्रोल किए जाते हैं, और ये मसल्स की कॉन्ट्रैक्शन की वजह से ही ये हमारे लोअर जॉ के मूवमेंट पॉसिबल हो सकते हैं, और ये मूवमेंट्स की वजह से मास्टिकेशन होता है. यानी फूड क्या है, स्मॉलर पीसेस में ब्रेक डाउन हो सकता है. जब फूड हमारा स्मॉलर पीसेस में ब्रेक डाउन हो सकता है तब वो इजीली स्वैलो कर सकते हैं हम उसको, और उसका डाइजेशन भी अच्छे से हो सकता है. सो इससे हमें ये पता लग रहा है कि टीथ, टंग, मसल्स और नर्व्स ये सारे एक साथ मिलकर काम करते हैं, यानी कोऑर्डिनेशन बताते हैं मास्टिकेशन को, च्यूइंग ऑफ फूड को करने में, यानी फूड को सलाइवा से मिक्स करने में और उसको ब्रेक डाउन करने में हेल्प करते हैं. तो दैट्स ऑल फॉर टुडे. मीट यू इन नेक्स्ट क्लास. गुड बाय.